Welcome back to the channel, guys. Tonight I want to go over the new race monster. Basically all the information that I need to say that he's a good monster has been released except for the relics. Currently though, I'm still trying to top 5k the gold fever event. I'm just farming the little farms. My food guardian has ran its course, so it's on cooldown. I have not been using, yeah, my food guardian. I have not been using the rune guardian for this gold fever. The reason why I'm not using the rune guardian is I'm saving it for the last 2 days of PvP. Currently we're ranked like way down in 40th, but I figure in the last day or 2 days we will climb. So yeah, hopefully that'll work out for me. It seems like so many players have more than 10k trophies at the moment, but it's still early. Positions don't really matter at this point. So yeah, aside from that, I don't think there's anything going on in the quest or on the, I don't know what you call these, the events on the side. The challenge monster is junk. I wouldn't want him. Uh, the maze, choose your path. There was a bug when it first came out. I wish I would have been online for that, but I missed it. So I'm not really like big on getting SLs. They're just Stardust. So I'm basically just like relaxing this maze. That's how many maze coins I've got from not even trying. Whereas I'm like making cells for race on my breeders. But as soon as this guy's done crafting in 18 hours and 17 minutes and he goes on the hatchery, it should allow me then to see the path, and I should have about 4 hours to spend all of my maze coins that I have at that time to get as many cells as I can for ranking him up. As far as I know, he's the only monster left that I need to actually rank. On this page, we have Calumetic currently ranking, but as soon as we get Lord Pulautopus crafted, we will have our first page done, and then as soon as we rank him once, we will have our second page done, and then I still need to rank Calumetic one more time, the Pass Monster one more time, and the Pulautopus one more time. I saved the Pass Monster for near last because I have absolutely no intentions of taking that monster past rank 2. So at rank 2, I would like to not have extra cells, and they give the cells in the daily quests. I've been able to get 10, so I'm trying to get as many of those free 10s as I can before I go for my what I call my final rank on that monster, so they'll probably be the last one. But when it comes to Calumetic, I'm ready to spend Stardust and rank Calumetic. We already have the extra 500 dust for Calumetic. We're sitting pretty with over 10k. And then tomorrow when we're able to rank it, we'll have another 500 hopefully. So yeah, we should be able to rank both Calumetic and I think that's it, right? Let me check one more time. I got confused. But I think since Calumetic is in the ranker currently, and this is as far as we're going for. Oh no, so I still have 1 rank on Calumetic, 2 ranks on Lord Pulautopus, and then 1 rank on the Bing Pass Monster. So we're still looking at 4 days worth of ranking. So of course it's going to head me up to where I don't actually get it finished till after race, unless somehow my race team finishes before the end of the race, and then I have like 2 extra days or an extra day to start ranking mythics again because I don't need my ranker. However, but that's pretty much the schedule that I'm going for. I would like to get as many of the rewards as I can before race, so that way during race, during that discount, I can go ahead and spend gems to turn them to 10s. I have been a little bottlenecked since I put so many 10s on my monsters. When it comes to doing the gauntlet, it takes me longer now to change my 10s around because I'm using them on so many monsters. I got them on Blackfeather, got them on the PvP monster, got them on, the Kodama, got them on Toboras, got them on Bomb. So yeah, I need to figure out a better rune setup. I don't know if maybe it's time to start taking runes off of Kodama. I feel like I don't really use him that much, and when I do use him, most of the time I can just turn transfer to him. So he could just be like a 3x9 team speed holder for me or something. I'm not really sure. But I do know that Letalus or which I call Lettuce, and Blackfeather are sort of overlapping, but I expect to use the Lettuce more than Blackfeather since we got free ranks to them, and since I can manipulate his true vision with a turn transfer so that he can have true vision after he dies, as long as you just turn transfer to him first. That way he gets 2 turns in a row. Spend the first one putting the true vision back on and the second one doing a stun, which saves me from alts. But yeah, I'm basically just working towards number 1 priority is making an alt-free team for the gauntlet. Number 2 priority is building a defense so that I can try to push higher in PvP, but there's really not much higher for me to push. Like, 4th place is pretty impressive to me for, for what's going on in the game, so I feel like it's going to be hard to top that, but definitely possible, especially if we had a defense. So I don't know, you'll have to stay tuned for that. So let's go check out the new monster coming for the raid. Alright, so I am on Monster Legends official, and I guess we'll cover a couple of things while I'm here, I guess. How about that? Somewhere though, the guy's name is Steamrath. I might have scrolled too far. Yeah, so it's looking like I still don't know what's going on for the El Colossal. If it's going to be Magic and Light, that's such a horrible... I guess we're all trying to get Corruptus. I really don't even know what we're doing there. Somebody can get 305 Junk Farmers. It says there will be another season dungeon or whatever. And then Hacksmith is going to be breedable. I guess he's the Golden Pass monster, the one that costs $20, but you will have a chance to breed him. I myself will definitely be trying to breed him, guys. I don't consider, the 1800 gem monsters free to play, really. I consider those cash grabs. I'm not interested in spending 1800 gems really for a monster. Maybe if I was sitting on 16k gems like I was in the past, I would consider it more, but it's not what I'm into. Gems are used way more valuably to build the account than they are just to splurge on a monster. Monsters really are not that important to an overall account's growth. But supposedly there's going to be some coin things we can get from frats and from doing quests and stuff. So I'm guessing it's going to be like a replica of how the Pump Seed Challenge was during Christmas. But you'll be able to get Thundir and Sanitarian instead of like Pump Seed and Relics. That's my guess. Here we go. The Steamrath moveset. When moves were first released, everyone said that he was trash, and I try to tell everybody, just slow your roll. You'll see what I mean as we read through here. It says, deals moderate magic damage to one enemy, applies vulnerable to one enemy, deals low magic damage to all enemies. Neither one of those skills seems very crazy. Deals low magic damage to all enemies, applies vulnerable to all enemies. Deals moderate metal damage to all enemies, applies daze to all enemies. Applies double damage and torture immunity to itself, applies damage boost to itself, gives 1 extra turn, deals very low magic damage to one enemy, applies vulnerable to one enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself, and then deals low magic damage to one enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself, requires cooldown. And then I don't normally care about specials, and I normally tell you guys, like, I don't really care at all what the special says, but this special says deals moderate magic damage to all enemies, applies vulnerable and damage boost to itself, gives 1 extra turn to itself. Meaning, are you kidding me? This guy gets a special and he goes again? Like, it's not over? Like, you special someone and that's not good enough, you get to go again. So anyway, when that was all that was released on the guy, I tried to tell everybody, like, look, slow your roll. Those moves are not bad at all, considering that you don't know the cooldowns on those extra turns. He has 3 extra turn moves. Currently, with like 2 extra turns, we're taking 4 turns on Vampira. A monster like Nora had 3 extra turns, and we were taking 4 extra turns or whatever. You have no idea he could end up being like Madame or Charmless, where he can just go forever based off the cooldowns. I said the damage isn't very high, so it's a good possibility. Well, it turns out I was definitely right. when I told people that. They say the Ghost Express is loaded with Xmas coins, Stardust avatars, keys to unlock special Xmas deals, and most importantly, a new cosmic monster, Steamrath, is a magic attacker and extra turner. She can boost her own damage, and with the right combo, she loop attacks until she runs out of stamina. Steamrath has an evolving trait. At rank 0, she has Harden. At rank 1, she is super attuned, and at rank 3, she gains torture immunity at the start of battle. Alright, so that means she's fire to me. That means this monster is so much fun. The only thing left is the relics, man. Like, could we please get 2 stamina gaining relics? Like, if I could have anything picked, I would say give us an amulet and a banner. I don't think it's going to be that good, but man, if we could get an amulet and a banner on this to where you could use Taine's banner with, like, Beast Banner to just get loads of stamina, wow, it would be fun. I get it that there's anticipation everywhere, but I don't care. I use Vampira, there's anticipation, and we remove its trait and we smash. Like, if they're going to be SCs, you purr it and you smash. But with this guy, the traits are fine. Like with the super attuned on Vampira, I usually turn transfer with Lindworm and gain free stamina from doing that. Since this is a magic monster, you can still do the same exact thing with a Lupo, I believe. You could just turn transfer with Lupo and gain free stamina as well. But people think that the Torture Immunity SC is kind of ridiculous at the start of battle. You know, your extra turner is going to wear off. But I think that that is extremely valuable and extremely important. Sure, it could have lasted forever and been a trait, but it doesn't have to. The point is, you're not going to be under a bunch of dots when you get your turn. Like, if I could just tell you, like, before Vampira takes her turn, if I put a curse and a bleed on her and a nightmares on her, and then I say, okay, it's your turn, go, she's dead after she takes 1 or 2 turns tops. Like, this monster, that's not going to be a thing. You're going to have to purr that off first and then deal with it, which is good, because if it wasn't purrable, this monster would be pretty hard to take down. At least with an SC, immune to torture, they're giving you an out. Like, your Vampira could purr it and then dot him up with, or dot her up with, you know, bleed and nightmares, and then they can't take 50 million turns. Why? Because at 4 turns, they're dead tops. Like, so yes, like, I am glad that it's not, you know, permanent, because it gives you answers to it when you're going against it. Meaning, yes, you can apply tortures, you just got to purr that first. Had it not had that, you would have basically had to kill it before it was its turn. Like, and if you didn't kill it before it was its turn, and you didn't have anticipation, it's going to be like dying to Charmless used to be. That was the most painful death in the game, was dying to Lord or Prince Charmless, where he's going to take like all these turns on my face, and I want to hit the exit button and just exit the fight, but I can't. I got to watch this guy take all these turns, and it takes like 3 minutes, and then I'm dead. It was the most painful death of them all. So to me, in my opinion, I think that this monster is going to be a blast. A lot of fun. You're definitely going to want to get this monster. One of the most fun things that I know of in my year and 2 months of playing this game is taking extra turns unlimitedly is a blast. Sure, if you're looking at anticipation, it's not going to be a blast and you're going to be miserable, but just get rid of the anticipation. And then on top of the fact that you can take all of those extra turns and do all those things, there's a chance you could get an alt, and the alt doesn't even stop your extra turns. You get to just basically alt on someone's face, and then you get to keep going again, taking extra turns. That's insanity to me. And one cool thing about the Super Attuned is if everybody's going to be using this monster, because it's so much fun to take all these extra turns, when your opponent is blasting your monster with their extra turns, you're gaining stamina because of your Attuned. Like, you may not think it's much, but it's definitely much, meaning these fights are going to be a blast, man. I definitely see this as being a fun monster to play with. Does that mean that I'm saying that this monster is so broken it's going to take over the whole entire meta and you're going to see it everywhere? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you're bored and the team you're playing with doesn't feel very fun, or it feels boring, I'm saying that this guy is going to definitely lighten things up. This guy is definitely going to make things fun. You're going to be able to turn transfer to him so that you can wear strength runes. You're going to be able to do some pretty crazy things with this guy. If your opponent has got, you know, anticipation, or they've got fake anticipation, which, or wannabe anticipation, which, you know, an SC, then you're going to need purrs and you're going to need trait disables. So I do look towards monsters like Tabora being good. And one monster that stands out to me that has definitely going to be good is the Water Pierce Attacker, the free-to-play version of Vanos. That monster does have purr. And since it has Pierce, that means you can purr around taunts or mega taunts. So if someone is using Lord Pull-Out-A-Puss and you're worried about, oh man, I'm going to use Steamrath and they're going to blow me out because they have anticipation and I can't get to it, it's behind, a taunt, or it's behind double mega taunt, or it's wherever, you can always just run the Pierce attacker, doesn't have to wear strength, and remove that stuff so that your infinity turn guy, or I don't know why I keep wanting to call it a guy, but your infinity turn chick can just run off to the races. I can't wait to play with this monster. Hopefully I get it at least rank 4, and then I spend Stardust and we rank it to 5. And the reason why we rank it to 5 isn't even because we wonder if it's going to be good. It's just going to be so much fun. Like, imagine your opponent doesn't have anticipation, and you just bring this person that can take 20 turns. Like, all I can say is, I hope it doesn't have, retarded relics like sword and armor. That's what I'm really praying. Like, please, if there's any way, like, let's get this thing some cool relics that give us stamina so we can have a blast with it. That's what I'm hoping. And then underneath of it, it says something about there's going to be a train coming through the cosmic portal. I'm thinking that means visual for the month of Christmas. Or for the month of December, basically, we'll see a train coming out of the cosmics. But to me, I'm kind of excited for this monster. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. There's a fix to its special, but it did. Like, when I first read the special, I thought it was a typo. And then people told me in my live stream, they're like, that was that the special got updated, it was a typo. And I was like, oh, yeah, I figured it was a typo because who gets extra turns in their special? And they're like, no, guys, like, the special's not wrong with the extra turn. It wasn't supposed to give itself vulnerable. so yeah, like, this monster is definitely a blast. I think it's a for fun monster, and I'm not saying that it's going to be the best thing ever, but I'm definitely saying it's not going to be bad. This is definitely not a bad monster. There's nothing bad I can say about this monster at the moment. Sure, I get it that people might, not be happy with the traits. Harden is, basic Mav, a good trait. Harden is a good trait, but it's like the bottom of a good trait, meaning, like, if you could rank all the good traits, like, Harden should be the last one at the bottom, basically. So it's got a Harden, and then it's got, the Attune, which no one likes Super Attune, even though, like I was saying in the mirror, when people are using a bunch of weak extra turns on you, it's going to help you out. It could get you back in the game. Especially if you've been stamina drained. I've seen they got stamina drain monsters coming. So yeah, taking this guy's stamina away is going to be one way to beat him, unless he's got stamina gaining relics. But there's a part of me that wouldn't doubt it if she came with sword and armor, to where you're basically supposed to put the charging stuff on your teammates and charge them that way to make it fightable or whatever. But because as is, this monster really looks too good to be true to me. It looks like can't wait to get it. I can't wait to use it in dungeons. Like, I can't, like, tell me you don't want to go into a dungeon and just smack everything to death. Like, there's going to be a survival dungeon. I get to use a monster that can take infinity turns in a survival dungeon. I can't wait. Like, it sounds like a blast. Like, oh, there's a taunt monster? Yeah, I hit him 20 times. He's dead now. Like, it's going to be a load of fun, guys. And anyway, there's the combo that you need for breeding the other guys. I think I rambled for too long about how I'm excited the fact that we're going to get an infinite attacker, basically. Hopefully it's more infinite than the infinite gauntlet. But yeah, other than that, there's nothing really going on. I did read this Rudy guy, or Rudy, however you say it. They got the best skills that I've seen in a long time. It says deals thunder damage to one enemy, removes 50% of stamina, deals low thunder damage to all enemies, applies stamina leak, and then it says removes 100% of stamina from one enemy. That's really good. It doesn't even matter if they've got mutant runes on, if they're getting, double stamina boost from SC or nothing like that. It removes it all. Removes 50% of stamina from all enemies, applies shock to all enemies. Removing 50% of stamina from all enemies is a great thing because it takes effect right after they charge. Is the most powerful time. Meaning, if I drained you all the way, and then you spend your turn charging, and then I spend my turn removing 50% of stamina, boom, it's like I double drained you. Deals moderate thunder damage to one enemy, activates all cooldowns, and applies stamina leak to one enemy. I feel like cooldowns is definitely like a weaker form of deny. It still allows your opponent the ability to play around it. I myself always be running 0 cooldown skills on pretty much everything and anything at any part of the game. But the fact that you're also putting their stamina under pressure while putting their cooldowns under pressure is definitely important. Meaning like it backing you into a corner where it's hard to play from. Deals low thunder damage to all enemies, applies shock and stamina leak to all enemies. Shock is a torture, so that is where I was telling you guys, like the SC, like you can't shock them until you get that SC off, which therefore at least gives your opponent a fighting chance versus your guy going infinite, meaning if they can purr away your SC and then shock you, they gotta fight for themselves, which is giving it's making the game more playable in the sense where if the guy just had, or I mean, if the female just had a trait immune to tortures, like your options for beating her would be so reduced down that it would get it would get really aggravating in a way. It would really bottleneck the ways that you could build a team, because you'd be like, oh, this team's weak to that infinite attacker, like this team's got nothing. Like, so the fact that you can, have shocks on people and purrs on people and then know you still got a fighting chance against that strength rune infinite attacker. And then the most broken move I've seen in a long time removes 100% of stamina from one enemy, gives one extra turn to itself. So you can remove 100% of stamina from one enemy and then remove 100% of stamina from another enemy. Or if that enemy that you removed 100% of stamina from somehow gained stamina by you hitting them, you could remove it again. Like, that is really cool to me. Deals low thunder damage to all enemies, activates all cooldowns on all enemies. Again, it's got great denies, and it's got the ability to remove stamina. So you're really looking at something that's taking advantage of your ability to utilize in a fight. This is really like a deflator. Like, if you had something going on, this monster definitely deflates what you got going on. I call them disruptive monsters. It's definitely a disruptive monster. As far as I know, it's going to be a pay-to-play monster, but still. Shout outs to the pay-to-play monster. It looks really dope. I don't want to have a monster taking all of my stamina and taking all of my buddy's stamina and then CDAing me. Like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with being CDA'd first and then them knowing my cooldowns and being like, oh, he's about to get his move back. Let's take that stamina. So yeah, that's what's going on in Monster Legends. I feel like there's plenty coming that I want to look forward to during the next month. People are always asking me, do you think any of the monsters are good for the next season? Yes, I do. So to end this video, let's go over the season that we already had since it's over with now, basically. Out of this season, what were the only monsters that stuck out to me? Lupo and Lettuce, which I call Lettuce, and Lord Pull Out of Puss. Those are the only three. I feel like Axomech is an amazing monster for the Air Duels, but outside of the Air Duels, I don't see much use for him. Calametic could be the one that's a sleeper, meaning those Thunder Shields might get pretty good in the future. I don't know. But Lupo is definitely probably the best monster, I think, of the whole entire era, including the pay-to-play monsters. I think he can do some broken things that none of the other monsters could really do, meaning you can do some trick plays. Like, say someone is denying your attacker, you would think, oh, I turn transfer to my attacker, and he's going to be cleansed, and he's going to get an extra turn. You can do more than that. Like, you can turn transfer to yourself to cleanse your team, to then purr like a mega taunt with your extra turn, to then have freed up your other guys that have now been cleansed when you extra turned. Or if you run as double extra turn, you can extra turn into extra turn to basically set up the ability to AoE nerd turn transfer every turn. Meaning you can do it once, and then you can do an extra turn, and then you can do your regular turn, and now the cooldowns are all the way reset on it, to where when it's your turn again, you can do it again. That is pretty freaking broken to me. Now, what I don't like is I'm not a big fan of reverse heal, and I'm also not a big fan of healing my opponent. But I realize that, the fact that he gets that reverse heal as an SC is a big difference. He has AoE bursts, he has single bursts, he has res block, he has reverse heals, he's immune to blind, he can turn transfer, he can nerf while he turn transfers. Yeah, this guy to me is the best of the whole entire era. Next, I do like the fact that the PvP monster is usable in the gauntlet for me to try and build a alt-free team. And then I do like that Lord Pull Out of Puss is the biggest hiccup I've seen in a long time for PvP. I have yet to beat a 150 yet in PvP. I have lost to a couple of them. Really, I don't even know where to begin on taking down the monster, and that's where I'm at with that. I am playtesting with the single double purr on my vampires, so that way my vampire has access to 2 purrs. But I really am looking more and more and more towards that free-to-play Pierce monster having purr and pierce, and being able to maybe handle Lord, pull out a puss that way. And the fact that he's electric kind of makes him like, yeah, they were meant to do battle. So I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end the video tonight. I rambled for a good bit, but like I said in the past, you guys seem to like the ones where I run off at the mouth for about 20 minutes, so it's been a minute since we've done one. Anyway, thanks to everyone who's been watching the channel, and tune in tomorrow. Later.